Morning fog hovered over the surface of Chilkoot Lake as I stepped to the edge and looked out. Somewhere beyond the haze, this body of water was the stage for a final act in the life of one truly magnificent animal. A creature that had traveled thousands of miles and defied all odds of survival just to make it back to this very lake. The place from which it was born, and the same place where it would die. We finished strapping our gear to the kayaks, deployed onto the water, and began to cut across the lake. This was about to be one of the most daring episodes of Breaking Trail we would ever film, and there was no turning back. The Alaskan wilderness is home to some of the most incredible animals in North America, and as we kayaked across Chilkoot Lake, I tried to envision life as a grizzly, lumbering along the water's edge and searching for my next meal.
That is definitely a fresh bear kill right there, and it's just eating out the back of the salmon and its innards, and you can see all the blood still in my fingers there. If there's one thing that proves you are in bear country, it is dead salmon. All right, just be careful as we're moving through here. Watch your back.
Or what if I had been born to see this wild place from an eagle's eye view, soaring above the water's surface and hunting for shadows in the ripples below? To be a bear or a bird would be awesome, but today, I am a human. However, the crew and I were on a very similar mission to both the grizzly and the eagle, as our target was one and the same: sockeye salmon. We filmed this episode during the last weeks of July, which is also the heart of spawning season. Thousands of these magnificent fish were migrating in from the ocean, up the rivers, and ending their incredible journey as they reached these inland lakes.
Okay, so you see this water coming off the side of the mountain? Where that stream meets the lake, the water will be incredibly clear. The perfect place to look for some salmon. Let's head over there and try to find ourselves some fish.
It's in these clear pockets of water where the females will build their nests. Here they will lay their eggs just before a courting male arrives to fertilize them.
Well, it's definitely raining out here on the lake. Nothing like searching for salmon in a rainstorm. That's all right, we are several miles out onto the lake at this point. No fish yet, but we're gonna find them. Oh, we're gonna find them.
Chilkoot Lake spans just over 3.5 miles in length, and while there were likely thousands of salmon beneath the surface, our search would still be rather difficult.
Here, fishy, 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 fishy.
Most of the water was murky, so our best bet when it came to finding fish was to scan near the banks, searching for crystal clear glacial meltwater that was pouring down from the mountains.
See any salmon?
Up in here.
Ow! Get spine in the eye.
All right, this is exactly the kind of spot that we're looking for. You've got water flowing off the side of the mountain and into the lake. Unfortunately, it's a bit too rough and the water is very murky and deep. If I can't see the fish, I can't catch them. All right, let's keep moving up the side of the mountain and see if we can find something better.
Suddenly, from the far side of the lake, I heard the unmistakable call of a bald eagle. These predatory raptors had one thing, and one thing only, on their minds: fish. And I immediately knew that if we followed the call of this bird, there was a good chance it would lead us right to the salmon.
There are like 4 eagles up in the tree right here. Now the eagles have led us straight to the fish because right in this cove, I can see a bunch of dorsal fins splashing. There are about 100 salmon tucked back into this cove. Sweet. Dude, guys, we have found salmon. We have been rowing this entire lake, and lo and behold, it was finding eagles that brought us to the fish, which of course makes sense because the eagles are here feeding, but we also have to be careful because this is a prime spot for grizzlies to come down to the water and feast. All right, we're gonna set up a base camp and then strategize how we're gonna catch one of these fish.
It's
yes, dude.
This was it. After hours of searching in the harsh Alaskan elements, we had finally found what appeared to be nearly 100 salmon. They were beautiful, their brilliant crimson bodies, slippery and streamlined as they darted back and forth beneath the surface. Excitement was in the air. We had finally found some fish.
Okay, this spot's pretty perfect, but be aware that we are definitely in bear territory right now. I gave it a quick scout, made some noise, shouted, yo bear, clapped my hands. Yo bear! Just try to alert any animals in the area that we are now here. If there's salmon, there are bears.
Nothing is more nerve-wracking than setting base camp in an area that is clearly trafficked by bears. And as we quietly snuck through the dense forest to get a stealthy look at the Salmon Cove, it was obvious that the bears had the exact same mindset that we did.
You know what that is? That's one big pile of you-know-what. Bear droppings. And they're still warm. What the bear did is he lumbered up along the edge like this, and you can see where he placed his paws right there on the edge, waited for fish to swim up close, and then probably pounced down into the water. Look at all those fish swimming down there. And that bear's got the same idea that I have, only I'm gonna use a net and not my claws. All right, let's go get set up.
All right, Cody, well, there's your net. I think we're getting pretty close to being ready here with all the gear. What do you think your chances really are of getting the sockeye?
I have a 75% chance of actually netting one of these animals.
And what's gonna be your technique?
Basically, I want to try to work one of the fish into a corner. The shallower the water, the more it will kind of be disoriented, and I think I'll be able to scoop down and get it into the net. I know there's some overhangs, and those overhangs, they may also hunker up underneath there and feel comfortable, and I may be able to get the net up underneath that. So, like I said, I think about 75% chance that I'm gonna land one of these on the first attempt.
All right, well, let's do it.
Let's catch a fish. This was it. Time to catch a salmon. We had been given special permission by Alaska Fish and Game to use the primitive method of dip netting to capture one of these fish. Typically, they are caught using rod and reel. However, we wanted to put as little stress on the animal as possible and felt that using a net would ensure that the animal was captured without harm. It certainly wasn't going to be easy, but I was confident that if I could corner one of these giants in shallow water, I could make the catch.
Hopefully Mario gets the shot.
Mario, we're counting on you, buddy.
By sitting up front with the net, Mark was able to slowly row me in toward the cove, while Mario, rowed by Austin in the other kayak, did his best to capture all the action on camera. We slowly crept in, as just the slightest disturbance in the water caused salmon to dart around us left and right. My original plan was to hang the net off the side of the kayak and to have a fish swim right into it. However, we quickly realized that this plan was not going to work, so it was time that we switched to plan B. Coyote was going in. I carefully stepped out and into the freezing cold water. It sent chills up my spine and nearly took my breath away, yet I stayed focused. We had one shot at landing a fish, and I was going to give it everything I had.
Got one! Right here. Woo! There we go! There we go! Got one! Man, it's cold! Alright, it's strong. It's heavy. Get the boats back! That's a pretty good one!
With an enormous fish in the net, Mark quickly rowed his kayak back to base camp, grabbed the main camera, and raced back to the cove so we could film the scene.
Woo! Yes! Holy cow! Can't believe I got one. Man, that is good fish right there. I want to keep the fish as calm as I can. You see it there? Swimming down in the water. There
Wow.
you go, buddy.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. Played absolutely perfect. They were darting left to right. There's no way I was gonna be able to get one in the deep water. I played up underneath the embankment there, and that's how I was able to nab it.
Let me see, lift it up.
Full-grown male. I don't think we could have landed a more perfect fish. Oh man, yes. Woo!
Got one.
Got one, dude.
That is a beautiful salmon.
Beautiful salmon.
Woo! All right, got our gear.
Fish on set. Woo! Look at that. That is one strong fish. All right, let me get my pack off here. I want to keep the fish as comfortable as possible and put as little stress on it as I can. Look at that salmon. How unbelievably gorgeous is that animal? Now, the way that you can immediately identify this as a dominant male is you'll notice the quintessential green head, that hooked jaw with those massive teeth, and this large ridge on top of the back, which develops as these fish mature. Now, you may be wondering to yourself, is this fish real scaly? It's not. It's incredibly smooth and very difficult to hold on to, which is why I'm keeping it partially in the net. And these fish are so fast and so strong, the way that they make it from the ocean and then moving up the rivers to get to the spawning grounds. In my opinion, probably the most beautiful salmon species in the world. Now, there is some important work that we need to do today. I need to get the biometrics of this fish for Alaska Fish and Game, and I want to do that quickly to put as little stress on the fish as possible. So I'm going to set it back down into the water. There you go, buddy. Let me kind of prop the net here like this. I have a measuring tape in my pocket and a scale. I want to be as accurate as I possibly can here. Tip of the snout down to right where the tail fin connects to the body. Wow, 24 inches. That is a 2-foot salmon right there. All right, do this. 1, 2, 3. Holding up the fish. He is at 9 pounds. 9 pounds.
That's a pretty good salmon.
Pretty good sized salmon. All right, let me come back out. Whoa, buddy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Holy cow. This fish does still have quite a bit of fight in it. Now, these fish are at the end of their life cycle. Let me show you something really interesting here. Look at the tail. You see how it's much lighter in coloration? These fish actually begin to deteriorate as they're moving upstream. I can see there's kind of some gnarled areas on the back of the tail, but really what's distinct is the very light coloration as compared to the rest of the body. And it's kind of gross and kind of sad, but these fish almost disintegrate in the water as they age and eventually die. Now, this fish is at the end of its life cycle, and when it does pass away, it will eventually become food for a bear or an eagle and then return to this amazing Alaskan wilderness in the form of nutrients for the animals that are out here. And look at that fin. And this is one distinct sign that we looked for when we've been searching for fish, is just this dorsal fin breaching on the surface. You can be several hundred yards out in the water and see these fins up above just doing that as they're trying to get close to the mouths of these streams. We've got fish all splashing over here around us. Their natural instinct is so strong, it doesn't matter that we're here in the water right now. All these fish are continuing to move up river. If something as big as a grizzly bear doesn't stop these fish, trust me, a camera crew isn't gonna slow them down. Let's take one more look at this amazing animal. Wow, how awesome was this? Braving the wilds of Alaska and actually netting a sockeye salmon. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. All right, we'll see you later, buddy.
As the fish swam from my fingertips and returned to the cove, I found myself filled with emotions. A wave of happiness blanketed my being, as our mission was an incredible success. A part of me felt sorrow, knowing that this beautiful animal was at the end of its life. I found my heart overflowing with gratitude, as the universe had allowed me to spend time with such a brave and traveled soul. And as he slowly disappeared into the shadows, I knew this was a moment in my life that I would never forget. If you thought this adventure was epic, make sure to go back and watch our journey deep into the heart of the rainforest, where we got up close with a poison dart frog. And don't forget, subscribe so you can join me and the crew on this season of Breaking Trail.
I'm pretty safe right now. I'm sure you're all watching this thinking to yourselves, oh boy, Coyote, here you go again, handling another dangerous animal.
Trust me, I'm in no danger as long as I don't lick or eat this little tiny frog.